I hope you guys are ready for a long-winded explanation of cultural ephemera. And no, I'm not talking about the game King Kong 2 Ikari no Megaton Punch. I think I'd translate that subtitle as Furious Megaton Punch. The thing is, to understand where this game comes from, you need to know about King Kong. Not that one. Our story starts in the 1970s when infamous schlockmeister Dino De Laurentiis decided to remake that King Kong. It was a massive hit at the time, but for some reason it fell out of the public consciousness. No, not that reason. 10 years later, and De Laurentiis decides to make a sequel. That was released in the US as King Kong Lives, a film I saw in the theater, and the only thing that I can remember about it is King Kong getting an artificial heart. In Japan, the film was released as King Kong 2. That's where Konami comes in, and they actually made 2 King Kong 2 games. One for the MSX, and one for the Famicom. The story of this game is that King Kong lives, and he's searching for his lost love. She's held in World 9, and to get there you have to collect 8 keys to unlock it. The boss of each world has a key, of course. Getting to the bosses is not simple, though. And I'm not just talking about the action in the game. The worlds are sprawling mazes with lots of doors that interconnect them. You will almost definitely warp far ahead and wind up warping backwards as you just try to figure out which door goes where. Bosses are behind some of the doors, but each world also has 2 permanent power-ups that you can collect. By default, Kong punches when you press the B button. If you press select, then the B button will have him throw a rock. You only have limited ammunition with the rocks, and I actually found it kind of hard to hit a lot of enemies with them. The path it travels in doesn't feel quite right. And throwing things in an arc feels really wrong when it's an overhead view. I wound up mainly saving the rocks for bosses. The A button jumps, and Kong will destroy what he lands on. You have to be pretty precise to do this to enemies, so I don't recommend relying on it for attacks. It's better used for defense, to jump over bullets or these fire bars. Kong has pretty good air control too. Enemies aren't the only thing on the screen that you can smash. You can also knock down most terrain features. You'll want to knock things over because that's how you locate the doors. And those lead to power-ups, paths to other locations, or the boss. For power-ups, the 2 that you absolutely will have to locate are the artificial hearts and the rock cases. The artificial heart extends your maximum health by 100, and the rock cases let you carry 10 more rocks. There's other power-ups that you can find walking around. The speed power-up from this potion, and the rock attack power-up from this item, last until you die. The invincibility power-up lasts about 10 seconds. Then there's this Konami symbol. Picking it up summons Konami Man, and grabbing him refills your life to full. In the past, I've recommended King Kong 2 to people as a solid but not necessarily top-tier game. This time, organizing my thoughts for this video, I'm downgrading that. King Kong 2 has a real flow problem, for the lack of a better word. The first 20 minutes to half hour that you'll play are pretty easy. You'll have to smash everything to try to find doors, and you'll probably spend a bit of time figuring out which paths you can follow, but you're not going to be challenged. The enemies are simple, they don't do too much to you, you can jump over obstacles easily, and then the game takes a sudden turn to the cruel. Suddenly you're constantly bombarded by attacks, you've got aggressive enemies everywhere firing rapidly. You can't stop some of the off-screen attacks from constantly coming after you, and there's not much you can do to prevent it from all whittling away your life. And the difficulty on those sections feels more unfair than anything else. You'll have swarms of things hitting you as soon as you enter a screen. It winds up feeling like not much fun. And it doesn't help that the rest of the game is comprised mainly of knocking over every item on the screen to look for doors. It's not the worst game in the world, or even an especially bad game. It's just kind of mediocre. And we know that Konami can do better than this.